Imagine this: a 72-year-old woman, surrounded by dusty paint tubes and blank canvases, decides to become an artist for the very first time. Not because she had spare time, but because she felt an aching need to express a lifetime of stories she'd kept locked inside. Meet Ruth. For decades, Ruth worked as a nurse, caring for others, but never for herself. When she retired, she felt lost, unsure what to do next. Starting something new at her age felt like climbing a mountain wearing flip-flops. Ruth's first obstacle was fear. Fear that she was too old, that her hands were too shaky, that the art world was for young prodigies, not someone who barely knew how to hold a brush. But what truly challenged her was the physical toll. Arthritis made her fingers stiff, her eyesight wasn't as sharp, and the energy to stand for hours was limited. Most people would have stopped there. Instead, Ruth transformed her limitations into stepping stones. She switched from heavy oil paints to watercolors, which were lighter and more forgiving. She rearranged her workspace to sit comfortably and worked in short, focused bursts. To compensate for her eyesight, she used magnifying glasses and vibrant colors that popped out of the paper. Her strategy wasn't about ignoring obstacles, but adapting creatively to them. Each day, Ruth painted a small piece, sometimes just a single flower or a sliver of a sunset. She documented her progress in a journal, noting what worked and what didn't. When frustration hit, she reminded herself that mastery wasn't the goal, expression was. She shared her work online, connecting with a community of artists who cheered her on, proving support can come from the most unexpected places. Months passed, and Ruth's paintings grew bolder, her strokes more confident. Her art began telling stories of resilience, of seasons changing, of hands that heal, of the fierce beauty found in imperfection. Her studio walls, once bare, blossomed with vibrant scenes that reflected both her inner world and the world outside. Then came the unexpected. A local gallery invited Ruth to exhibit her work. Standing in that gallery, surrounded by her paintings, Ruth realized she hadn't just started painting. She had rediscovered purpose, joy, and a new identity. The applause wasn't just for her art, but for her courage to begin anew. Ruth's journey teaches us three powerful lessons. First, obstacles aren't dead ends. They're puzzles waiting for a creative solution. Second, progress is about consistent small steps, not giant leaps. And third, community and sharing your journey can ignite motivation when self-doubt creeps in. So, if you're watching this and feel it's too late to chase that dream, remember Ruth. Begin with what you have, adapt, experiment, and celebrate every tiny victory. Your story isn't over, it's just starting, because it's never too late to paint your own masterpiece. But Ruth's story doesn't end there. As she continued to paint, she found that art was not only a means of self-expression, but also a form of healing. Each brushstroke helped her process the emotions she had carried for years, the joys, the sorrows, the regrets, and the triumphs. Painting became a meditation, a way to connect with herself on a deeper level. She realized that creativity has no age limit, no boundaries, and no expiration date. Ruth began to explore different themes and techniques, pushing herself gently beyond her comfort zone. She experimented with collage, mixed media, and even began dabbling in digital art with the help of her grandchildren. The learning curve was steep, but her determination never wavered. With every new challenge, she discovered a new piece of herself. Her story inspired others in her community. Soon, Ruth started informal art workshops at the local senior center, encouraging fellow retirees to pick up a brush and try their hand at creativity. The workshops became a space of camaraderie and support, where people shared not just their art, but their stories and dreams. Ruth's initiative blossomed into a small movement, proving that it's never too late to find a new passion and to inspire others along the way. Through her art and community work, Ruth also began to advocate for the importance of creative outlets for older adults. She spoke at local events and contributed articles to newsletters, highlighting how art can improve mental health, foster social connections, and bring joy at any stage of life. Her message was clear. Growing older doesn't mean fading away. It means evolving, discovering, and continuing to grow. Ruth's life took on new meaning as she embraced this chapter with open arms. She found balance in her days between painting, teaching, socializing, and rest. More importantly, she cultivated a mindset of gratitude and curiosity. The fear that once held her back transformed into excitement for what each day's canvas might bring. As Ruth's art gained recognition, she also started collaborating with local schools and youth centers, bridging generations through creative projects. She discovered the joy of mentoring young artists, encouraging them to see beyond their limitations and to embrace their unique voices. These relationships enriched her life and theirs, weaving a tapestry of shared creativity and mutual respect. Reflecting on her journey, Ruth often said that the greatest masterpiece she created was not the paintings themselves, but the life she reinvented. Her story is a testament to the power of resilience, adaptability, and the human spirit's endless capacity for growth. It reminds us that the canvas of life is always waiting for new colors, new stories, and new beginnings. So to anyone who feels held back by age, fear, or doubt, remember Ruth's story. Take that first brushstroke. Let your heart guide your hand. Embrace the imperfections, the challenges, and the small victories. Because your masterpiece is waiting to be painted, not on a canvas, but in the story of your life.